and gentlemen, and welcome to week 10 of Miss Anime Seasonal Podcast. Before we get started, I want to make an announcement. I waited a couple days to do this because of what I'm about to say, and I've been going back and forth, So, we've all heard the news in the animation industry, and we've all heard about, the big, We've all heard what happened, and I'm sure a lot of you are devastated, and, understandably so. And I've been going back and forth on how to deal with Shield Hero, because I understand that Naofumi's been replaced. I understand, he has a new voice actor, but ultimately, since there's an entire season preceding it, I don't entirely feel right, and I know I'm watching in Japanese, so technically this doesn't apply to me, but for those of you who have been watching this show in dub, I don't necessarily feel right going into this show this week because of, So basically, I was going back and forth on how to deal with this, and initially I was just like, well, why don't I just wait a week and review this show next week with the next episode, and then I was like, why don't I do something positive? Why don't I do something good Billy's been in, so that way, we can get some positive vibes, because Season 2 of Shield Hero has just been really mediocre and just not very good even slightly. But ultimately, because of the fact that it's been so mediocre, and because of the fact that I've been struggling to be really interested in this show, in this season, I have ultimately decided that I'm going to leave it off of the rest of the roster, because I can't bring myself to talk about this show in a negative light right now, and I feel so bad for the people watching this show in English, and it's just, it's so hard, and it sucks, man. It really, really sucks. Between that and the fact that this season is just crap, I don't have the heart to continue with it. With that being said, let's get on to the actual roster. And we're going to start, as usual, with Dance Dance Censure, because it's still not in the bag, and at this point, I feel like I have taken way too long, and I don't know how long this show is going to go, but I don't want to write a new slip now. So, basically, what interests me about this episode is that we finally get to see the background of, I thought they were just childhood friends, but someone told me Luo and Miyako are cousins. Like they're actually related. I don't know, maybe they're cousins through marriage, I don't know, but I thought that his grandmother was just hard. No, holy shit, this show depicts actual child abuse, and you can understand why being second place and why he spends all of his time in his room. I get it. He was fucked up as a child, and now he grew up into a fucked up adult. And that ending scene, I get the impression that she's not in her right mind. Like, that's why she seems out of it. So I get the feeling that he just, he wants her to see him dance one more time before she passes away, and it was so hard to watch, and I think that's what makes made it so effective. Also, I like the fact that watching Luo, I like the fact that Luo watching Junpei with Miyako is what gets him out of his room. I knew he was going to come out. I knew he was going to. There's a closet joke in there somewhere, but I'm not going to make it. But I knew this was going to get him out of his funk, but I didn't know he was going to have such an adverse reaction to it. So it's clear he actually does like her. I don't know if the fact that she watched him I don't know what her role in his childhood actually was, because I kind of skipped over a lot of it. Not because I wasn't paying attention, but because, I was more interested in him, because she doesn't really seem to do very much. So that was just hard to watch, and I think that's, like I said, it makes it really, really effective. I think that's going to be one of the catalysts, is Junpei is going to basically, push him to, not even get over it, but push him to move on from it. So, and I like the fact that this episode wasn't about Junpei, because we've gotten a lot of development about him, but we haven't gotten anything about Luo as up to this point. Spy Family! I think what I love about this episode is not just the fact that, they're playing like a really insane game of dodgeball. Like, one of the kids is just this giant. He's supposed to be 6, but he looks like a giant, 20-year-old man, and it's so funny. And he acts like a 6-year-old, but he's physically not 6-year-old, and I found that was my favorite. I hope we see more of him, because that was my favorite part of the episode. And it's dodgeball. It's basically a giant, insane game of dodgeball. That was most of the episode. Not a lot plot related, but it was just mostly kind of a comedic episode. We do get to see that Damien clearly likes her, and he's clearly a tsundere, and he clearly has feelings for Anya, but he doesn't want to admit it. I guess because he's of a noble class and they think less of him for it. Anyway, moving on. On to the next one is Summertime Rendering. So I think the implication of this episode is that, as I said last week, maybe the shadow that Shiori killed is not the same shadow that they're with now. Like, maybe more shadows can copy themselves more than once, which goes back to my theory that maybe this Shinpei is not the original. That would be an interesting plot twist to find out, but which would explain why this shadow is much friendlier, because one shadow is friendly. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe the shadows can split maybe the shadows are actually the good and evil of the person. Like, the half is the half that wants to kill you, and the good half is the half that doesn't. But that's mostly what it is, and I find it funny that I find it interesting that the shadow, Ushia's shadow, her first instinct was not to kill the original. And I find that interesting, not because I don't understand and that, this shadow is different, but because you'd think there couldn't be two of you. You'd think that one of them would be like, oh my god, what are you? And they'd want to kill the other, but, maybe I'm wrong. So they're still debating whether this shadow is a good guy or a bad guy, and now we have a team. Now we have an ally on the inside, and that should be... sorry, I pause a lot. I'm sorry if I pause too much, guys. The next one is Build, Divide, Code White. So we finally made it to Terratel. And this was, in my opinion, rather anticlimactic, because not a lot really happened with this. I wish something would happen with this, but she gets there, she fights him, and then she frees him, and then the villain shows up. And then Sakura shows up, which is really confusing because I thought Sakura was supposed to be deleted. And I guess Sakura's been in the orb thing. I don't know why. I hope we can reach a climax with this because, it's not terrible, but the first season was better. So we have a villain, and that's pretty much it for this episode. It's mostly a fight scene. And next one is Data Life So now we're actually getting to a plot, As I said previously, usually these shows go, the first 6 episodes are harem bullshit, and then the 6 episodes are plot. And then the second half is the plot, where, basically Shido has all the spirit power, and Kurumi and the government are fighting over wanting to kill him. And I find what's interesting, is he has to seal Kurumi's power, but on the other hand, either way, it's gonna spell a problem. So, I'm sorry, I'm just yawning. So they're still going on dates, and basically that's where we are at right now. Kurumi wants to kill him because she wants to go back in time, and she wants to eliminate the first spirit. I don't know why. Maybe it's basically more of the same at this point. It's basically more of the same idea, although they did briefly turn into kids again. So I guess that happens when they use too much of their spirit powers, I guess, because that happened in another season, and I wasn't sure why. I guess that's why. Next one is Greatest Demon Lord Reborn as a Nobody. So now they've met the Demon Lord, and I actually kind of like this twist, where we find out that Varvatos is not the only Demon Lord. And, well, not even that he's not the only Demon Lord. He's not the Demon Lord he's the Demon Lord from their timeline, but the Demon Lord from the other timeline is completely different. I have a sneaking suspicion the Demon Lord from the other timeline is going to turn out to be a woman, because the fact that that the face is covered by a helmet, that happened sort of on a line where you find out that the person whose face is covered is actually female. So I kind of have a sneaking suspicion that the Demon Lord is going to turn out to be a female. Either way, we're on episode 10, and now they're actually getting to something. So it's not the worst show. It's okay. I just wish they'd get to the point a little bit faster, because I wish they had gotten to the point a little bit faster, because at this point I just feel like it's and the thing is, a lot of the characters in the intro we still haven't met. So either they're going to do a second half, or those characters aren't going to show up until season 2. So we'll see. We will see. And next on the docket is Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. Okay, so I'm happy the show has more of a plot than last season, and I'm happy we're getting to it a little bit faster. So basically, they're trying to find Rijo, who is the alien who came to Earth, I guess, to dominate it? I don't know. I don't know why he came to Earth. Once again, Manabu, who I'm now calling KJ, if you know, again, if you reminds me of my favorite. I've said that before, so I'm not going to say that again. If you know who I'm referring to, you know who I'm referring to. But basically, at least there's something to this. And we find out that the Chupacabra alien got tricked or some shit. I don't know. I really don't know. And it annoys me because in the last season it had the same thing where we introduce a plot point and then we drop it. And then we introduce a plot point and then we drop it. At least with Zale and Arc 5, there was an actual continuous plot. So I'm a little bit worried that this is going to go to the same route 7s where nothing is going to happen, and then at the end, it's not interesting. And this is why I've pitched the fact that Yu-Gi-Oh! Cannot be a kid's show. Not because of the fact that kids can't handle heavier subject matter, but because of the fact that it just doesn't work without an actual plot. So, there's that. Next one out of the gate is, And I now have Me, My Friend stuck in my head. This song from the opening to Reborn as a Demon Lord. Shogai Shoujo Virgin Road. So, I really like Pandemonium as the villain. I think she's creepy. I think she's insane. I like the fact that she's not malicious necessarily. She's just kind of chaos. Like, she's Pandemonium basically. She's just chaos. And I like that because it doesn't paint her as being evil so much as just nuts. And now she's basically mutated into this giant final thing, and at least we're getting something out of this show now, because we haven't gotten anything really substantial out of the show, and I have a feeling they're going to do a season 2 because they still haven't addressed where these other worlders come from, and they still haven't addressed the fact that why is Akari, not Yukari. Why can't you kill Akari? Is she like time itself? Is she like is she a pure concept? Like, not just have a pure concept. Is she a pure concept herself? They have to address that. Well, they don't have to, but they should address that at some point. So I have a feeling they're going to see a season 2 of the show. At the very least, people have been shipping Menno and Akari, so I really think that, we need to have more romantic moment in this show. So there's that. There's basically not enough shipping material, and they've hinted at that she likes her. But they haven't full-blown come out and said it. Anyway, finally, Mahosuke Rimiki. I am so bored with this show, it's not even funny. There has happened. And now the main character is like, I have a crush on the teacher. Like, why? Like, literally, why? Why do you have a crush on the teacher? Like, I don't... Is it because I get the feeling that it's only because they need to push romance in somewhere, which is weird because Holt is right there, and Holt is basically the cute moe girl, and I'm surprised that they haven't, gone that route in the crush vicinity. But I do want to know about what the main character is in terms of, like, actual being. Is he a witch? Is he a prince? I don't know. What is his deal? They have been drip feeding the idea of some kind of plot, but at this point, I don't know if they're gonna actually get to it, and if they do, it's probably gonna be in a second season, which I really, really, really don't care about. Other than that, that is it for this week, ladies and gentlemen. I am very sorry that this is so much shorter than usual, but as I said, I've cut Shield Hero from the roster. I'm not talking about it anymore. My condolences to the Comets family. He was a very, very, very lovely human being, and I'm still just... It's hard to imagine the voice acting community without him. And then they announced that Toby Keith has stomach cancer, which just... Oh god, this week is just not gonna be good for me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry this is so short. But if you enjoyed this episode, you can always go to my Instagram you can always go to my Instagram, you can go to my Tumblr where my asks are always open. I'm also going to start posting these episodes on Odyssey, and next season these episodes are going to contain not this one. The Anime Pit podcast, which is also going to be on Odyssey, is going to have a song of the month, as is the Media Pit podcast. That's which you can also check out. I think I've posted the links to that. I have Facebook, and other than that, that's it for this week. I'm sorry this was so short. I might find something to make up for the length going forward. But that is it for this week.